What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be going over the newest brawler, Wendy. She's been released in the game in 2 days time. In game, you can see that the Wendy release event is starting, so for a lot of people that can buy the early access, we can get Wendy already. So I'm going to be going through my thoughts on Wendy, how strong I think she's going to be, some changes that she received as well. I spoke about this in a balance change video, but maybe not everybody saw that. So let's go into some of the balance changes. Actually, no, let's just go through her first and foremost in terms of her main attack stats and whatever else. So as you can see, she has 4,000 health, but I'm pretty certain from when I tried her out before that she didn't spawn with this shield. So essentially she spawns with 8k health. So are you really going to ever get Wendy without a shield? After again playtesting her some months ago, I feel like there's even more so now. She's always going to have that extra bit of health. So yeah, 4,000 health is the lowest inside of the game, I believe. But is she really the smallest health brawler in the game? Technically, yes, but in reality, not really, right? So in terms of her main attack damage, as you can see, like there's a few funky things for her main attack. Look how wide her attack is. That's got to be one of the widest attacks in the game. Other than that, like for a marksman especially, maybe like I'm trying to think like no, that's just got to be easily the widest one. As you can see with her main attack, she'll give herself like a 1,200, I believe, shield or something around that, which is pretty decent. And then she can also use her main attack to shield up teammates, which I'll go on to in a little bit later on. So her main attack damage is 2,000, which actually isn't too bad. Her reload speed is pretty slow though, but 2,000 is very similar to brawlers like Gus and Bell. Especially Gus is a great comparison because Gus is easy to hit as well, and similar damage in that department. So you know for sure, like leading into like her counters, whatever else, like brawlers that can run her down should be some of her counters. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, she's got an interesting trait as well. So we'll throw out our super here. So our super, in terms of super charge rate, it actually takes 5 shots, but if you receive some damage through the trait, so whenever you have your shield up, if you receive damage, you get some super charge. So constantly having your shield up is going to benefit you a lot. So you can just see here, I'm being shot a little bit. Like this bot isn't really giving me too much of a problem. And then I can shoot 1, 2, 3, 4. And then maybe in some instances, like if I receive enough damage when my super is up, I can probably get my super in like nearly 3 shots, which is actually pretty insane. As you see by her super, every time that I'm getting any damage dealt to me, it's being reflected, most of it, onto my super. So it's very reminiscent of that Larry and Laurie star power, right? Especially when Larry and Laurie were on release, you could literally just go up, and like that's the reason why Larry and Laurie was so broken. Why I'm a little bit scared of Wendy, because you could just throw your super out in the back. So again, you just do this with Wendy's, and then most of your damage is being reflected to your super, so you just constantly like chaining your super time and time again. So in terms of her main attack length as well, it is pretty decent. Again, it's not like the longest, but she's a support brawler, not a marksman, but this is still some pretty decent range. She's going to be outranging so many brawlers, but at the same time, there's a lot of utility with Wendy. So yeah, just from the basics, I'm pretty scared. So just quickly, before we go on to some of her best things, her game modes, and how strong I think she's going to be, let's talk about the balance changes that she received before she's even implemented into the game. So her super charge rate from her damage trait, so the one you see here, I'm getting super from literally receiving damage whilst I have my shield active. That got greatly reduced by like 50%, so she charges 50% less of her super through receiving that damage, which is good. Before, she used to deal 2,200 damage, so 2,000 seems like a pretty decent amount. Now imagine 2,200 damage on a support brawler like her. Her main attack projectile speed as well is a little bit slower because she already has such a big projectile size anyway. Her projectile speed, even with this small nerf, is still really fast. And then the amount of shield that she gives to her and her teammates has been reduced a little bit as well before her release. So before we go into her best game modes and everything else, I nearly forgot about her gadgets and whatever. So first gadget, it's not anything crazy, it's just a jump gadget, but it is pretty cool, especially with the aiming reticle. So you can see you can just jump over walls, which for a brawler like Wendy is actually pretty good. I also forgot to mention as well that she can walk on water. So it's this type of brawler, like she's very cool, and I'm very excited because this is a really cool mechanic. But she can walk on water, she's got this cool trait, she can jump, she can tank a lot of damage. She's like, there's so much going for her. Second gadget is a wind grenade. So you can see by just how long you can throw this thing, it is it's basically off the screen. It's like a juju shot. Like, that is some crazy range. I don't think we needed all that range, to be honest. So this wind grenade, it deals no damage, but it does slow the opponent for, I believe, like 3 or 4 seconds, and it stops them from healing momentarily. So although it doesn't deal any damage, it stops them from healing. So essentially, well, not really the same thing, but kind of is in that sense. So you can just throw it onto someone to stop them from healing, throw it onto someone to slow them, so then it helps you and your teammates gain a bit of control. It's not the biggest projectile size, so it might be pretty hard to hit, but it's got some insane range on it. And its first star power is a little bit of a fun one because you can start to use it a bit more aggressively. So all enemies inside of this shield generator, you can't see by the actual effects here against the robots, but they will be slowed, so it will be even harder. So for example, I think it could be good against those aggro brawlers. Think of like Pam's turret that deals some damage, but like in a way bigger meaning, right? Like you think of like a Bull or Mortis, they're trying to close down and destroy the shield generator. Well, they're going to get slowed, so that's even easier for you and your teammates to find the kills. So not only can you use this defensively, but with this star power, you can use it aggressively. Now moving on to the second star power, and again, I believe before its release, or initially when I tested it, is this star power got a little bit of a nerf because with this star power, you get an additional 2,000 health. Again, I could be misremembering things. I'm getting a little bit old now, but 9,000 health on the shield generator, by the way. I just feel like, I know the slow sounds good, but just getting that extra 2,000 health, and especially with the trait as well on top of that, and just the survivability with this star power, I can't see a way how people won't use it. 2,000 health, it's a little bit of a boring star power, but it's so good. Now moving on to her best build then. I don't know for sure her best build. We'll be trying that out on Thursday when I try and push her towards Prestige 3. Both gadgets getting very, very strong. I think the easiest one's going to be wind powered. I think that's going to be the better one. Although all it does is gives you a bit of a boost. I think if you're being a little bit more aggressive, green grenade can be good. But because she's so vulnerable and so weak in terms of like her DPS, I think jumping could be pretty good because you can jump towards your teammates to safety. So both of them will be like good, not anything crazy. Star powers as well, both of them should be good. I definitely see this one being underrated and can be useful in some matchups. I think most people would just go for this one. It's like one of those star powers where it's like, okay, you're just going to get solid value from it. You know what you're getting, so it should be pretty good. And then in terms of her build so far, I think it should be quite clear. Damage and shield, she needs both of these. All right, guys, so moving on to the game mode, which I think she will thrive in the most. It's quite simply going to be a hot zone, right? Hot zone is going to be a really nice one for her because she's going to be able to give a lot of support to her teammates on the zone. She's going to be able to get that turret set up in the right spot most of the time. Of course, you can quite clearly see here her lack of DPS is going to be a big problem for her, but you can easily just put this turret in the back. You can just sit and tank a lot of damage. It's going to be quite simple for a Wendy. Again, like people were saying, like she's just so little damage, right? The people that are saying that Wendy outgunned her, aren't too many people that are saying that, but it doesn't matter when you're just not dying on the zone consistently. It is just completely over, it feels like. Again, I can just constantly shoot up my teammates. I think for the most part, I like you just gotta shoot the opponents so you can consistently keep your shield up. So here I'm about to my shield's about to deplete. Well, I have another one available straight away. Again, like it's quite clear that my lack of damage is hurting us a lot here, but I think as the game goes on, and especially if you pair it with so many aggressive brawlers, it's just going to be too much for the opponents to deal with. So let's throw out this gadget here. Oh, it uses up an ammo. I didn't even realize. Okay, again, I'm just going to be a little bit aggressive here. Oh, I've completely forgot as well. I can go over the water, so even better on a map like Ring of Fire. Yes, I am one shot, but I'm just getting so much damage reduction from my shield that they just can't really do much. Unfortunately, I got this to be on my team, but it's quite clear. If you're playing with Wendy, you absolutely need a damage dealer on your composition, right? And it's 2 versus 3, so I'm going to be losing against bots, but I just wanted to showcase to you guys just how much I am tanking right now. Like, this is absolutely insane. Like, look at this. I'm not dying, which is just insane to me. I think before her nerfs, she honestly was nearly at a par with Larry Laurie. I'm not even joking. Those nerfs definitely did some good adjustments, but it's quite clear that she's going to be insanely broken, guys. Like, look at this. They just can't kill me no matter what. Yes, I should be probably focusing the turret, but I think until how people realize how to counter her, she's just going to be a menace. So guys, jumping into just everything about Wendy and in terms of how strong I think she's going to be in the game, whether she's going to be game breaking, whatever else, how to counter her as well. So I think a great counter to Wendy would be health. Like, I just faced off again like a Frank or something, and it was really hard to actually even kill a Wendy, it felt like. I think there's going to be some situations where, I don't know, let's say like if you try and play Wendy and Brawl, it's like trying to play, I'm trying to think, for example, like a Piper, you know what I mean? It's going to be so incredibly hard for Wendy to defend. Like, you can catch Wendy in opportunities where you can just run at her in a straight line. Like, yes, you're not going to be able to kill her, but she can't kill you either. So just a few things to bear in mind there. Like, look at this Penny just won't be able to do anything about it. I mean, in some instances I could probably just jump onto people and free tap them with 6k damage, which will be pretty good as well. But again, I think the main way to counter her, from what I learned when I playtested her, is you got to try and destroy her turret. It's very hard because it has a lot of health, but definitely more worthwhile shooting a turret than a Wendy, guys. You got to remember that every single time you face off against her, it's truly the only way. But boy, is she going to be game breaking. It's very clear to me. That's why I don't want to really go too in depth into Wendy just yet, is because she's just going to be game breaking. She's going to be easily the best brawler in the game. I think she's going to be in a whole separate tier by herself because this turret is so broken. And it's just mainly the super cycling. You're just able to consistently put out this super, and it has so much radius. Like, this brawler is disgusting, guys. So yeah, if you're wondering how strong Wendy's going to be, I think she's, in a weird way, I don't know, she's not going to be stronger than Damien on release, but near enough. Like, honestly, at a very similar level, but it's just going to be in a different way. Like, it's going to be one that maybe people don't find as toxic, because Damien, you know, you're jumping onto people, you're knocking them about, you're destroying them. Wendy's more of a, yeah, you're just not going to be able to take me down no matter what, and that's the most toxic thing in the game, right? So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. In a couple of days time, she is being released, and I will be pushing her, no doubt. So hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.